It's a cream-based soup, and I usually, unless I'm baking something anyway, I usually do my acorns or my squashes in the microwave. And you can put them in for 4 minutes. Put them another couple minutes until they're nice and soft. These definitely feel soft. If you've got the oven going because you're doing a turkey or something like that, then it makes sense to go ahead and use that that method. But it's a shame to heat up the whole oven so you can bake these. Of course, with the holidays coming, my mom always she would bake these long enough that she could split them and then put brown sugar and butter. Boy, they're good. So I'm just going to take the seeds out of these, but making them nice and soft just makes the rest of our job on this soup so much easier. Add on. And if you want, you can always wash these seeds out, and you mix up some salt and water and put them on a baking pan and spread them out and put them in the oven like 350, and the salt will adhere to the seeds, and then bake them till they're a little bit crunchy. And they're really good. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're all squash. All squash seeds. Okay. Slice up a yellow onion. That one's got a little bit of a brown in the center. Knife is a little dull. Nothing worse than a dull knife. Well, there's some worse things. I always tell people, don't put your knives in the dishwasher because that'll take the edge off them. And it's also not good for wood handles. And also, don't cut your citrus with a nice sharp knife because the citrus will take the edge off. So use a serrated knife or something for that, where it's not gonna, you won't have to sharpen your knives as often. And if you do sharpen your knives, it's worthwhile to steel them, with a steel, hone them with the steel, and they'll keep them sharper longer. Steel doesn't sharpen the knife, it just keeps it sharp. Some chefs do it almost in between every little thing they cut. It's up to you. The more often you do it, the less often you'll have to sharpen. Is really what it comes down to. I'll show you in a second how to use a steel if you like. But most important thing when it comes to a knife, when you're buying a knife, is how the knife feels in your hand. Because you want it to be nice, firm, not roll in your hand, and then worry about the blade. But the handle, in my opinion, is the most important part. A little more olive oil in here. I use a little bit of toasted sesame oil. You definitely want the toasted because it has flavor, where the non-toasted sesame oil is just oil. There you go. Now you can smell that sesame oil. So go ahead and just put the meat right into the container, into our pot here. Skin there. This is something you can definitely do way ahead of time as far as separating the meat from the acorn skin. If you want to let it cool down. These are pretty warm. If you cook a lot, your hands tend to get used to hot things, so if it's easier to handle. It's also a pretty good soup to freeze, but don't defrost it using heat. Let it defrost in the refrigerator, and then bring it up to a boil slowly. Otherwise, you might have it might separate on you. So did anybody buy these at one of these at 2 in the morning on the infomercial? Well, if you did, you could actually use it. It's great for pureeing soup. Go ahead and cream in. Cream containers always do this. I don't want you to think of this as a very rich soup. Extremely rich. But you don't need a giant bowl of this. Now, if you were in a French kitchen, they'd put it through a sieve or chinois, because they don't like any lumps, any go. I'm more on the country side of cooking. I don't mind that one bit. And just like I was talking about earlier, using your salt, your chicken bouillon as a salt. A lot of chefs will be very classical and use a chicken stock or a chicken base. And a lot of people think I'm a cheapskate for using this chicken bouillon. But if it tastes really good, that's sort of my defining rule. I mean, if it tastes good, who cares, right? And this will be about the point you want to taste it. It's really good. This would also be a good vegetarian sauce for a dish if you had a vegetarian friend coming over. You could do some grilled portobello mushrooms and maybe bell peppers and stuff like that. And pretty much all you need to do is serve it. If you can get the ladle out of your container. In French cookery, we would probably call this a potage more than, say, a soup, because of its thickness. And since I like spicy, I'll see if I can pull the heart out of it. When you do this, you want to make sure, that your soup is the same texture, thickness. If you're pulling something, it'd come out almost. If you get it right, a toothpick's the best. I'd have one handy. Anyway, there you go. Got a acorn squash soup. Does anybody want sriracha sauce on theirs? No?